Hi everybody, Mrs. Tibbetts here, going over tsunamis and the grasshopper. Tsunamis, what you need to know. On March 11th, 2011, there was a massive earthquake in Japan, the fifth most powerful earthquake ever recorded on Earth. This earthquake happened just off the coast of this island nation. When it hit, the earthquake started a tsunami that destroyed towns, homes, and many lives. A tsunami is a group of ocean waves that sends massive amounts of ocean water onto land. These giant waves can reach heights of over 100 feet, or 30.5 meters. A tsunami's unstoppable walls of water can cause massive destruction when they move on shore. Because of their size and force, these waves can travel several miles inland. In Japan, the tsunami in 2011 had waves over 130 feet in height, completely destroying coastal towns. Tsunamis are caused by large earthquakes under the sea. When the ocean floor rises or falls suddenly, it moves the water above it and sets in motion waves that will become a tsunami. Other causes of tsunamis are underwater landslides or volcanic eruptions. Up to 80% of all tsunamis happen within the Pacific Ocean's Ring of Fire, an area where volcanoes and earthquakes are all common. Tsunamis are fast. They race across the sea at up to 500 miles an hour. That is as fast as a jet airplane. They can cross the Pacific Ocean in less than a day. That's nearly 10,000 miles. Tsunamis carry a lot of energy. These waves can cross great distances without losing much force along the way. In the deepest parts of the ocean, tsunami waves may be just a foot high, barely high enough to notice. As these waves approach the shore, they slow down, but get taller with more energy. The tops of the wave moves faster than the bottoms, causing them to grow to great heights. The first thing that happens when a tsunami reaches the shore is a vacuum effect that sucks all the seawater away from the land, exposing the bottom of the ocean in shallow areas. This is the first warning that a tsunami is about to hit land. An enormous volume of water will hit shore about 5 minutes later. If people can recognize this warning sign, lives could be saved. Another reason why a tsunami is so destructive is that it is made up of a wave train, or a series of high waves. The first wall of water that hits the land isn't always the most destructive. The force of multiple waves increases the damage on land. People who live in tsunami zones should know the danger may not have passed with the first wave. Residents should wait for official word that it's safe to return to coastal areas. Some tsunamis do not come on shore as huge walls of water, but instead appear as surging tides that quickly flood coastal areas. In the 2011 earthquake and tsunami in Japan, 19,000 people lost their lives. Most people were victims of the tsunami's powerful waves. The tsunami also caused a nuclear crisis. The waves from the tsunami damaged a nuclear power plant, causing it to go into meltdown, which means dangerous radiation was released and many people had to evacuate or leave their homes near the nuclear power plant, never to return. The most reliable way to defend people from any type of tsunami is an early warning system that gives people time to get to higher ground. The Pacific Tsunami Warning System was put together by 26 countries. The headquarters are in the state of Hawaii, where earthquake detection equipment and water level gauges work together to identify tsunamis farther out at sea. Similar systems are being built to protect coastal areas worldwide. While it is impossible to predict a tsunami, once an earthquake has been detected and a tsunami has formed, early detection systems can identify how long it will take for the wave train to hit land. Tsunami warnings can then be sent to people living in coastal areas. So this is an infographic, which is a picture that has information on it, what you should know about tsunamis. Factoids. Tsunami waves can continue for up to 12 hours. Each wave can be separated by an hour or more. Tsunamis can travel at speeds up to 800 kilometers per hour. Like we learned that was 500 miles per hour. Average human height is this, and that's like a 6-foot wave, and this is the height of a seawall, 5.7 meters or 18 feet. This is the actual height of the wave that messed up Fukushima, that nuclear power plant. Tsunami warning, what to watch for: an earthquake near the ocean, sudden changes in the sea level, like if the water all goes out to sea. That's really strange. That probably means a tsunami's happening. Suddenly loud ocean sounds. And what to do, how to survive: move to higher ground, stay away from the beaches and coasts, and listen to the news. So question 1, tsunamis are dangerous, but they're also rare. There are about 6 major tsunamis each century. Because they are impossible to predict, it is still important to know the warning signs. Read the sentence and directions that follow. Damage from tsunamis comes from the repetitive force of the waves. Underline a sentence that best shows this idea. So I want you to pause your computer and answer the question. Okay, so we are going to underline where we think it best shows the idea that damage comes from repetitive force of the waves. Another reason why a tsunami is so destructive is that it is made from a wave train or a series of high waves. That sounds like it could be it, but let's keep reading. The first wall of water that hits the land isn't always the most destructive. The force of multiple waves increases the damage on land. Okay, so I go ahead and underline this sentence because I think that it shows that the most damage happens from multiple waves or repetitive forces of waves. All right, question 2. Which of these best describes the author's purpose for writing this text and is supported by the evidence in the text? So the author's purpose, I think, well, I'll let you guys think. So pause and tell me what you think the answer is. Okay, tsunamis are frequent disasters. I'm not sure that it said that they happen frequently. Knowing tsunami warning signs can save lives. It did say that, and it did tell us how to survive if we know the signs. Knowing more about tsunamis can help scientists predict them. It's not necessarily true. Tsunamis are interesting natural disasters. Yes, they are interesting, but I don't think that was the purpose. I think that the purpose was to help us know the signs so that we can save lives. Question 3. Select the sentences from the text that best supports the author's purpose for writing the text. So we had said that knowing the warning signs can save your life. So let's find a piece of evidence that supports that. Go ahead, pause, and choose your answers. Okay, if people recognize this warning sign, lives could be saved. Okay, I'll go ahead and select that one because it says I can do multiple sentences. People who live in tsunami zones should know that the danger may not have passed with the first wave. It's okay. A tsunami is a group of ocean waves that sends massive amounts of ocean water onto land. I don't think that that supports knowing the warning signs and saving lives. In the deepest parts of the ocean, tsunami waves may be just a foot high, barely enough to notice. Again, no. The most reliable way to defend people from any type of tsunami is early warning signs, or an early warning system. So I do think that supports my answer from before. Tsunami warnings can then be sent to people living in coastal areas. I would give you credit if you had picked that. because it has to do with warning and knowing the signs. Tsunami waves can continue for up to 12 hours. I don't think that supports our answer. So, if you had picked this one, I would also give you credit. I don't think it's the best answer, but people who live in tsunami zones should know that the danger may not have passed the first wave. It sort of supports that knowing tsunami warning signs can save lives. I mean, I wouldn't have picked it, but if you picked it, I would give you partial credit. Okay, based on details from the selection, what is the relationship between earthquakes and tsunamis? So pause and think about that. So let's go back to where it talks about earthquakes and tsunamis. Here we go. Tsunamis are usually caused by large earthquakes undersea. When the ocean floor rises or falls suddenly, it moves the water above it and sets in motion the waves that become a tsunami. So for this question 4, you would write something that describes the relationship. Tsunamis are caused by earthquakes. That's really the answer we're looking for. All right, question 5. What information does the infographic, What You Should Know About Tsunamis, give the reader? Select all that apply. Pause and answer the question. Okay, the infographic. Did it tell us how to survive a tsunami? Yes. Did it tell us how to detect a tsunami? Or predict or prevent? Let's see. Warning, survival, predictions. Nope. Okay. So it did not tell us how to detect one, or how to predict one, or how to prevent one. You can't prevent a tsunami, and you can't stop a tsunami. Did it tell us how to report a tsunami? It did not. But it did tell us how to survive a tsunami. Okay, next. The ant and grasshopper. The grasshopper and ant. The leaf was heavy. Let's read that again because I think there may have been a typo. The grasshopper and the ant. I think that is supposed to be the title. I'm just going to change that. The leaf was heavy. Ant struggled to carry it towards his family's home. From behind him, he heard someone laugh. It was Grasshopper. It's a beautiful summer day, said Grasshopper. Why don't you put your work down and play? There will be time later to gather food. It is a beautiful day, replied Ant. But if I don't work on warm days, my family will not eat on cold days. So it went, day after day, week after week. Every time Grasshopper saw Ant, he laughed. Work, work, work. There's more to life than work. Summer came to an end. Nights became cool. Ant kept busy. He wanted to gather as much food as he could before the coming winter. Grasshopper, too, felt the chill of autumn. He began to look around for things to gather. There was not much left, and time was running out. Finally, the snows came. Ant huddled with his family in the warmth of their hill. They ate leaves until they were full. They played games. At night, they slept well. Grasshopper, meanwhile, grew hungry and weak. Question 6. The theme of the story. Pause and think about the theme. What did you learn from this story? Okay. Work should be valued. It is important to have fun. Teasing others is wrong. Or it is important to plan. Hopefully you picked that it is important to plan, just like the ants planned for the winter, and the grasshopper did not. The grasshopper probably died. Okay, write one detail that supports the theme. You would have to look back and pick one detail that shows why it's important to plan. You could have picked this one right here. If I don't work on warm days, my family will not eat on cold days. That shows why it's important to plan. Let's see. You could have also picked this. When autumn came, there wasn't much left to gather. So there's a few different things that you could have picked to show that it's very important to plan. All right, good job, everybody. See you guys tomorrow.